All right, we are back live for another episode of the Mix Behind the Mic podcast with my co-host, my guy, Keith DeAngelis. Welcome back, Keith.
Good to be here.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We can't say that still, can we?
Why?
I think there's like a statute of
Yeah,
limitations.
but it's our
right?
first. It's our first pod of 2026.
So we can still say it.
So
I
we
like
can still
that.
say
I
Happy
think that's
New Year.
good.
But I do agree that by today is technically
Like 3 days in, I'm out.
I was just gonna say we're today is what, January 12th. We'll probably post this in like a week or so. But absolutely, probably like today, I feel like it's the absolutest time you can
I
say
said it to someone last week, and after I said it, I was like angry at myself for even doing it.
Yeah, I think you get 2 weeks. All right, but since we're here real quick, when do you have to take your Christmas decorations down? Is it the same time when you can no longer say Happy New Year? That's a pretty good one.
That's a really good question, to be honest with you. Me personally, we take our tree down, I think, the 6th, 7th.
6, 7. That should be a clip.
I don't even know how that happened, but not planned at all.
I know, it's the best. That's the ones that like work. If we planned it, it wouldn't have been that good. 6, 7, huh?
Yeah, I think if you really want to get, I don't want to get too religious about it, but there's a thing called the Epiphany, and the Epiphany, I believe, is the 6th, and that's when you're supposed to take your tree down.
Can you please tell me what
about
the
it?
Epiphany is?
I have no idea. I just know.
I went to 12 years of Catholic school,
Yeah.
and I'm very well in with all
Right,
of it.
like you know about it.
Like I know that December 8th is the Immaculate Conception. I have no idea what the Epiphany is on January 6th.
I really don't know what it is. I just know that that's the day that, like, I've been told,
when we start our religious pod, maybe we'll hop on that one.
I'm sure a lot of
more.
people are just
and they're like,
that.
yes, can't wait. We'll mark that one down. So we're wearing the new logos today.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna touch base real quick on this. That we're probably 20 episodes in now. It's kind of crazy.
I think it is. This is Big 20.
It's kind of crazy because the new logo change officially is 20 years in the Mix event group. And it's funny. I noticed this when we were prepping today's pod that I try to be so neutral. I try not to specifically just name drop or talk about my specific company that we're referring to when we talk about all these experiences. But as I watch these pods and think back, I don't ever say in the Mix event group on the pod ever.
Which
I
is how the name even became about. Which is a lot of people don't even understand what the name means, I think.
Right. Like
when we were at the expo, Gorms was trying to explain to me that he thought it should be the mic behind the mix. And I was like, no, you don't get it. We are in the mix.
Right.
And now we are in the mix behind the mic, which the mix behind the mic.
But like, I just don't think I ever say in the mix a lot, or specifically the name of the company.
Right.
And when I started writing some stuff down, and I'm like, oh, let's just bring up the logos on the polos we're wearing today, and mention the 20 years, and But
zoom in on that probably.
One thing about today, and if I'm honest to our listeners, that we usually do really well with prepping some topics and ideas. And if we're being super blunt and honest, today was an absolute shit show of what are we going to talk about today?
I know why, though. Because it's like we're still kind of in the holiday season where like not a lot of I'm usually like fresh. I'm doing weddings every week.
That's true.
Things like
it's definitely,
I haven't worked a wedding all of December.
You actually just made it very specific where we started the pod it became live in September, but that's when our busiest time of the year is. So there's so many things you're essentially seeing or people are talking about in group chats that we have stuff fresh. But I definitely think it makes us know that we're gonna prep a little bit more.
I'm excited for a whole new year beginnings right now, though, right?
Fresh canvas.
2026, we're just gonna knock it out of the park.
So let me keep going with this because with the 20 years and the logo change, and it really just had me start thinking about my career in this business. And a couple things that, I was like, I think I want to start implementing are everybody loves a good story. And if maybe hearing a story from one of our experiences for our listeners, I want you to know that Keith just spilled water all down his shirt. I hope you're watching this on YouTube and not listening in the car because that's awesome. And please don't cut that.
I'm cutting it.
I know. Please don't. But 20 years of just awesome stories. And I feel like I want to try to incorporate some of my like most fondest memories of weddings or things that stood out, because people always love a good story, but maybe this cool story triggered something for them that gave them a cool idea for their wedding.
Inspo.
Exactly. So like I only wrote one thing down, and it's crazy because I'm like, again, thinking of what stood out, what was different, over the years. And a wedding popped in my head that I haven't thought about in a while, that was different. It was outside the box, and it was awesome. And I don't know if it was just the couple was really cool and their guests were cool, but here's the setting. They rented a house in Avalon. They had a really cool yard that wasn't that big with a pool. And they had a deck on the 3rd floor where the DJ was set up.
And this was the this where everything.
This was everything. It was,
so the venue essentially was
the Avalon house.
right.
They had valet guys out front that were like taking cars to a parking lot down the street. And I'm going to guess it was like 80 people. And it was just an awesome vibe.
I think it's a great idea.
And again, like, as a business owner, I want the 300-person weddings. I want them getting everything, of course, like, let's be honest. But like, again, every wedding is different. What works for you? People spend all this money on weddings. Like, what is the priority? And, there's so many variables to not just spending money on your wedding, but like post-wedding, and are these a new couple? Are they buying a house? So like all the money you spend on weddings. So
you could rent a mansion for the price of some of these venues and just have a ridiculous
100%.
Right? And then you just hire a chef.
100%.
That's a crazy idea. I never even really thought about. Hire a chef, get it for the price that you're going to pay, and then just have, you have to have a team. I don't think.
I wish I could think of this couple's name.
It's an interesting.
I'm friends with him on social media too. He's in real estate. I want to say it begins with a V, their last name. But again, it's just, and the best part was this wedding was 10 years ago.
Right.
And there was nothing crazy, outlandish. This was pre-TikTok days. And like, it was just like a fun wedding, an awesome vibe. And it was at a house in Avalon with a pool in the yard.
Right.
Couple jumped in the pool at the end of the night.
With their wedding dress?
Of course, like hardcore, like it was just awesome. And like, again, thinking through all of these weddings, and we've done from, fire halls to backyard weddings to on a farm to country clubs and beyond. It's like, what is for you?
Right.
And again, we're 2 days after the holidays, or 2 weeks after the holidays. So many people, and I hope so many, new listeners are people that just got engaged over the holidays. And again, I got to stop saying "and again," but
you say that a lot.
I know,
not even just on the pod.
I know,
like being because
in general, you listen to me. I get so many people just got engaged over the holidays, and I think newly, if you've never been married, and we'll just say of America, we're just going to say 100,000 women got engaged. It's probably way more, but got engaged over the holidays. What percent, you can probably look this up, but actually go ahead.
Keep talking.
But what percent of the people that got engaged were completely shocked by it?
Are you asking me like what I think of the percentages?
Yeah. And like my first thought is 50. Because the other 50 talked about it, picked out their own ring, has been planning things, knows it's coming but don't know when, et cetera, et cetera. And the reason I'm bringing this all up is, for starters, again, we're from the Philadelphia market. Can you cut some of them? We're from the Philadelphia market.
The and agains?
Yeah.
Well, I do in clips.
All right, I'll let you keep all the and agains if you keep spilling the water all down yourself. Guys, we're looking for a viral clip. Who knew it was going to be him spilling stuff? The 6'7" really might get it more than anything. But the reason I brought it up is we just did the biggest expo in the Pennsylvania area, in the Philadelphia market, the first week of January. We do it every single year. It's at the Pennsylvania Convention Center in Center City, Philadelphia. They essentially say there's thousands of brides. It's a 2-day show, and we always go all out for this. You got some stats?
I got stats.
Okay, I'm listening.
So this is how they said roughly 2.5 million weddings per year, right?
In the country?
I don't know where. In the U.S.
In the U.S., okay.
2.5 million per year.
Okay.
So of those 2.5 million, about 40 to 47% of the engagements happen around the holidays, they're saying. So their rough guesstimate would be about 1 million to 1.1 million engagements over the holidays.
I said 10%.
Right. Well,
I knew I was off, but
no, it's good to know because
you said 2.5 million weddings. I would have thought it was more.
I mean, again, this was a quick, and I'm in the middle of.
But answer me the question.
Go ahead.
I want to know
how many of them were a surprise.
Yes.
Surprise engagements. It's a good question. It's probably 10%. You think 50% of them were a surprise? You don't think?
You think it's less? I mean, that's why I'm asking.
It's a good question. I don't even know how to answer it. I think 50 is a good guesstimate, but it probably would be more were a surprise, I think. Right? Okay. You're saying less. I think engagements are normally a surprise, right?
I hate that I'm going to say this on the pod because it's a line I say at the expo. And like one of my vendor friends thinks it was nerdy of me to say this, but it's just something I do. When someone comes up to us at an expo and I'm always like, hey, how are you? And I'll be like, what do you have booked yet? And if they say nothing, I say, do you have a venue yet? If they say no, you know what I say next?
I say it because I heard you say it before. Do you have a fiance?
I say, do you have a fiance? And they look at me or they show me a ring, and it's always a laugh.
Totally.
And then I always joke.
A good icebreaker.
And then I always joke and say, because you'd be surprised. Because there's definitely people that go to these expos that are not engaged.
Really?
And I mean, maybe they're together 4 years. Maybe they're planning it. Maybe they know it's coming. And listen, this big expo that we do is only once a year. And it's like unlike any of the other expos we do the rest of the year. So
do you think they're doing it to hint at it? Like, my point is this.
No, maybe they simply know it's coming and they want to, maybe ahead of the curve.
But I'm saying maybe they want to get engaged and they're like, oh, it's at the expo the other day. And Johnny's like,
well, if I'm Johnny, right? I'd be like, why are you at the expo? That's what I'd be saying. But like, I definitely think I am confident when I say that there are weddings that we've done where the bride had practically everything in her mind locked in before they got the ring.
Right.
So again, every couple's different. So let's go with some topics for today. And I like when we put stuff on a wall. Let's talk about something fun. And I like when I bring up a topic that we didn't discuss before and we're just on the fly going to talk about it.
New year, new
right.
topics.
So the topic I wrote down is games at weddings, and I want to hear your take on it. And my example is cornhole and bags, which is the same thing.
Yeah.
What's the circle things?
Beer pong?
No. Well, beer pong could be there too, but like washers is what I was trying to say. But in general, what are your thoughts about it? And I have my own thoughts that I want to tell you. So yeah, all right. Just I don't want to say anything else.
My thoughts are a lot of times it's like you have them there and like good expectations that people are going to be doing stuff like that, but like you don't have a lot of time at a wedding, right? If your main thing at a wedding is you're going to be eating, you're going to be dancing, you're going to be hanging and chilling and doing whatever and trying to spend some time. When do you have time to play these games? You know what I'm saying? Like there's not a lot of time. It's more for like the children, I would say, maybe like to like throw a bag or two here or there. And again, I could be wrong on this completely. Other people might really love these ideas. I just feel like if you're not having a very laid back kind of.
Well, see, that's where I'm going. Because our favorite line on the show is
expectations
versus reality. In theory, people are like, oh, we love bags. Let's get some bags going. I highly dislike games at weddings for the sole fact of, but you hit the nail on the head. What is your vibe? Don't come to me in the consult or the final meeting and say, hey, we want a rager and we want everyone up dancing.
Right.
And then tell me a bunch of things that people are going to do that is going to take them away from the dance floor.
Totally.
So there's some venues that we do that are barn setting or in a tent where they have some space outside. It's predominantly outside, or if it's in a tent where they'll set up bags, they'll set up different kinds of games. And in theory, I get the concept. And if you're looking for a laid back, chill vibe and, a little bit of totally cool, do your thing.
Right.
But I've also felt there's times where couples had these expectations that everyone was going to be dancing, and it wasn't up to what their vision was, solely because they gave other people options to do other things instead of drawing their attention to the dance floor.
It's an equivalent of a cigar bar type thing, right? Like, it's not the exact same thing, but when you're putting things outside that are going to distract people from, the dancing, if you're expecting a rager, you're just probably not going to get it. It's not a bad thing, and it depends on your vibe. If you just want people to have fun and be like whatever, and it just is what it is, you just can't be upset if you expect to have the rager, and then you have people just. If everyone had fun, I mean, obviously that's the end goal of everything, correct? Yeah. That's what most brides, I think, want. Can you answer it in the comments? Is that what you want?
I just feel like sometimes we come on here, we talk about our opinions and our thoughts on things, and I always come off as the guy that hates everything. But I try to stress, what is your vision and vibe before we talk about anything else?
Right.
Because that's where I start. And this doesn't start with you booking. This starts at the consult. I talk about, give me the vision. What's the music? What's the vibe? What is the energy? If it is 10 of 10, want to be sweating,
right,
packed dance floor, want it then respectfully, I'm taking away all of them other things that are going to distract people from your end goal. And that's just so important. So when we talk about the outdoor venues and the barns and stuff, it kind of takes me to the next thing where I feel like you see this a little bit more, and we've briefly touched about it before on another pod, which is talking about smoking the Mary Jane at weddings. And respectfully, I'm all about the green, and I have no problem saying that, but time and a place. And I think you see it more in that outdoor barn space where it's just easy access, that everyone's outside, if you will. But it's a two-way part of this conversation where I'm going to talk about smoking, but let's also talk about drinking, because I'm trying to think of everything we've talked about on the pods, and I don't want to talk about the same things over and over again.
Not to repeat, but
right. But have we ever talked about getting drunk at the wedding? The couple themselves,
definitely.
I don't think we haven't, right?
No.
And I mean, I think, I think you have a better memory than I do about what we talked about, but you do the editing of this stuff, so I see it. Watch these stuff way more than I do. But I can't tell you how many times that we've had one of the two completely hammered, or disappears with an hour left of the wedding, or is just completely annihilated. And it's not often, but 1 out of every 10 or 20.
1 out of every 20.
I'm asking you, what do you think? 1 out of every 10?
In my opinion, I think that I'd say 1 out of every 20. You're talking about too drunk, though, right?
Yeah, okay. I should probably say, I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with being drunk.
I mean, I have
to each their own.
I have a story from a wedding that I did probably November, October, somewhere just passed. And I was talking to the bride. We were going over some things because, we're going over timeline. I'm the MC, and I'm like, yeah. I'm talking to her, and I'm like, she's visibly intoxicated to me.
This is pre-formalities?
This is pre-formalities.
Right, that's...
And I go over to the DJ, and I was like, I don't know, but I think the bride might be drunk. And he's like, really? And I was like, I don't want to, I don't know, because she could just be having a rough day. Who knows? Something.
And I caught myself.
Yeah.
I can't stress it enough. Do you have fun at your wedding? You want to drink? I'm not your dad. But you're spending thousands of
Right.
dollars. Like, and if you're one to known to get a little wild or not have a stop button, then you beat it in your maid of honor best man's head to be your babysitter of the day, and that's their job.
I don't think that was the case with this one. I think what happened was to finish the story out, we're waiting to do the intro. It's supposed to happen at 6 or whatever time it was. It's now 6:10. It's now 6:15. Where's she at? She's not feeling that well. The coordinator comes over and says she drank 3 martini espressos pretty quickly, and she's not feeling so good. She's she's in there, and she's supposedly she was a little nervous. Didn't think much of it, and then it tasted really good.
So when I say overall, who's drunk? It's probably more the grooms than the brides overall. But when we talk about the brides, how many brides get drunk off of anxiousness and nerves alone? And that's where, now listen, is there a difference between pre-ceremony and post-open dance floor? Yes.
We didn't even get into it.
That's my point. So, but like, and this goes back to like me personally holding couples' hands the whole way of just trying to do everything we can to ease their minds leading up to. So when their day of, they're just that much less stressed. But, having a beverage before the ceremony, sure. But again, let's take it even deeper. Like, if your wedding is 5 to 10, we'll say, the girls are starting at 8 in the morning. The guys might be starting at noon, if you will. And a lot of them have coolers and beverages, and they're already flowing so early.
Yeah.
So it's just like, again, pacing yourself is obviously a thing, but I just can't get over that people spend all this money, $20, $50, $100,000 on one day, and someone's holding their hair in the bathroom because they're puking at the end of the night, and I'm just baffled by it.
I mean, sometimes things just happen. You want it. You waited so long for that one day. You want to have fun. You have a couple too many, and things get a little bit crazy, and
So, coming back to our very first episode of the hashtag Wedding Irish Exit that we should keep talking about more because we haven't said it in a while. But
I've seen the bride wedding Irish exit a couple of times.
But my point is, it's almost like, we have this pod to help couples to prep them for their wedding. But like, I almost like want to circle back on this on the future pod of like, what's the move? What's the, do we have a topic solely on bridesmaid and best man being the glorified babysitter if need be, or like, does that maybe even we do a segment in the future of like, what is an actual best man or maid of honor's duties at the wedding? Pre-wedding, it's all about different things of the bachelor or bachelorette party, or getting people together to go dress fitting and all these things. But like, day of, what is the maid of honor and best man's job duties? I mean, that's a good one.
It's definitely a good one.
I want to break that down for a future.
We should definitely talk about that in the future.
Yeah, because I mean, how is that not like? And realistically, I feel confident saying that like, every time I picture or see a hammered bride or groom, and here's the best
Where's
part.
the best man? Or
Because no joke,
like, where are they, right?
If it's the groom, I'm not like giving the bride that look. I'm giving the best man that look, or vice versa for the bride. If the bride's hammered, I'm not giving the groom that look. I'm giving the maid of honor that look.
Yeah, so they're on the hook.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting topic for conversation.
What are they called? Matrons of. That's another thing. Matron's married and maid is not.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I get that one messed up all the time. Some people get angry at it.
We should probably cut this. He's a wedding MC. Should know that.
No, I did know it. I said it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying, like, it always like there's some people that just want to say maid or matron, don't even know why they're doing it.
That is actually true.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know, but anyway, I digress. Maid of honor, matrons of honor, best men. Take care of your people out there. If you see them going down the wrong road, too many drinks,
you're going to get up on this stage and talk about how this is your person. This is your other half. This is, they're the third wheel now because they're coming into your BFF relationship, if you will. And You're going to tell me that you're going to allow them to get hammered before the necessary listen, last song of the night, and they are batshit crazy, going wild. More power to you. We crushed it. But I mean, you got to make sure they coast to get there, right?
Get to the finish line.
It's just, you picture it as this. Your story's crazy of the pre formalities, and most people will say like, I just got to get them to the open dance floor, right? But that's even more annoying to me because yes, the ceremony and the formalities are the unforgettable, monumental moments in your life that you're going to have photos and or videos of.
Right.
But the dance set is the energy. It's the vibe. It's what people remember 20 years from now at your wedding was them on the dance floor. Yeah, they all have a picture of your first dance on their phone, but if they have a picture or a video, of them on the dance floor, they're going to remember that feeling 20 years later. They're not going to remember the feeling during your formalities because it's not you, if that makes sense.
Or they're going to remember you passing out because you had a little bit too much. That's going to be
and that's why I just can't. And wow, I really
remember Sheila. She was all over the place.
I just can't. It's one of them things where the last hour of your wedding, most people will say was maybe not most people will say it was the most fun, but like if you have a really good wedding, the last hour is going to be. Yeah.
You invite 100 people to a wedding, choosing round numbers. Okay. Obviously, most people are 150, 180, whatever you want to call it. Some people are less, but 100.
Yeah, we do.
How
we
many
do a lot
people
of
are there for the last hour? Because I went to a lot of weddings when I was younger, and I always left early, and I never really thought about it. I was like, whatever. Now
do you look back? Do you look back now like it was a different world?
I'm mad at myself because I always thought, no one's going to miss me. But I leave. Somebody else leaves. 4 more people leave. Some old people leave. You now have 100 people down to like 30. There's no one there the last hour to kind of... And I really feel like, knowing what I know now, I'm mad at my past self.
I almost feel like... I've been doing this 20 years, as I've said multiple times in this episode. But I almost feel like I've been doing it 50 years. Because what weddings were like when I started, when you were a young pup going to weddings, it's just another world.
Right.
Like, did I do bangers 20 years ago? Yes. But I can't explain it, the difference. And I don't know if it's just that the energy, I'm trying to figure out how I can explain it. Hey, baby. Ooh.
The song.
The song. But the songs are completely different
right,
now.
Because everybody was playing the...
But that's my
shout
point.
was like at every...
Shout. But, right. And them songs...
sometimes.
And them songs worked, I guess, every time because they were the heavy hitters at weddings. But me going back to the Hey Baby song. Ooh. Everyone does it. Sweet Caroline. Like, right. All them things were like, that was the hype and energy
right
in the beginning of my career. And I look back now and it's just a different world. Now, let's also keep in mind and the obvious that I feel like I grew up in this industry. I grew up as times have changed. And for me, I can just see the progression of the times are changing, obviously. And when I started this, and I'll even say 10 years ago, I used to hear a lot in consults, we don't want it to be a club. Now I hear we want it to be a club.
Right. So
that's a massive difference right there. That's where lighting comes in. That's where cold sparks come in. That's where CO2 guns and jets come in. All of these things that enhance vibes and dance floors that wasn't around to create that energy and vibe 10 years ago. I've been doing up lights probably for 10 years now. And the second I got them, they were a game changer. And we still sell them so much for weddings. 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 people to get a DJ get up lights. And I mean, you can easily verify this yourself. There's a difference in the room and the energy and the vibe with or without up lights.
I don't want to bring it all the way back to the pod and be like completely meta, but when we first started this pod, we had no uplights, and now we have uplights.
Yeah,
So if
yeah,
you look at the first season,
yeah. It just
I think we're
adds.
still in season one. But my point is, like,
How do we end that season one? But God,
season one just started at the beginning of the new year. I don't know. I think we're still in season one. I think we're just gonna have one long season forever.
maybe a year,
Yeah, I don't know.
like September 1st, the season 2,
Maybe every wedding season is when it starts. That would make the sense.
which is essentially like September 1st for
That's
the
interesting.
fall
We
season.
accidentally started on wedding season.
I like it. So let's keep going. And this is a quick one. I don't know if you've seen it. I think I sent it to you. Have you seen up the light up bracelets?
Light up bracelets?
Yeah.
Did you send that to me or did someone else send it?
I don't know, but the concept is this. Have you seen it at a sporting event?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. You're
Okay.
talking about instead of the foam lights, you're putting the bracelet on and you're dancing with the bracelets, or am I?
Kinda. But
Okay.
have you been to a stadium for a game where you can like put some app on your phone and like hold your phone up and it does like it syncs?
No, I've never done. I've never
Okay,
seen.
so something along the lines of they're doing these light up bracelets where you wear them, and I didn't see the technical side of the back end of how it all works, but these light up bracelets were like linking with the DJ's songs
Right.
to, go dark or go flashing all
So
at the
it's
same
like
time.
synced.
Yeah, it was just something different. I need to I was curious if you saw it because I was going to talk
I
more about
saw it at a wedding, like on not at my wedding. I mean, on a clip for a
Right.
wedding, not for a sporting event. And
Got
I think it was something. It might have been someone in response to. I think it might have been in response to when Spinelli was on. He was talking about the foam sticks, and
I don't know.
I think one of the people responded, "Check this out," and posted a clip inside the link that
And it was
inside
like the light up bracelets.
yeah, because I've seen it recently, and I think it was in response to that.
I want to just see more of it because I think the concept could be cool, but like it could be corny. I don't know.
I think
Just
it's kind of
curious.
cool though. I mean, it seems like a fun time. You put a bracelet on, and then the whole dance floor is like, if you like
Linking.
the vibe of the
Right.
glow sticks, I think
That's-
someone said it might cause seizures. Like
Well, I mean,
some people might get seizures from.
it's also
like,
why I ask people a lot of questions about stuff because I normally say like we're not doing strobe lights, but like again, if they want that club vibe, we can add that aspect of things.
right, but the strobe lights definitely can be distressing for people.
My next one, I feel like I want you to take the lead on because we're both gonna have opinions, but
Okay.
I feel like you wrote this one down. Venue house systems.
Venue house systems.
And every DJ that's watching this pod will obviously have an opinion on this, but I'm curious you were the one that wrote it down as a topic starter. So, I mean, go to town with it.
So I like venue house systems for me because I'm not a DJ.
Pause. Okay. I was going to say
Right.
because you're not a DJ,
Because
but
I'm
you
not
said
a
it.
DJ.
Yep. Go ahead.
So the bottom line is like obviously, and so when I do small events, obviously that are just in like certain venues, like not DJing or wedding, like other sides, I love a house system. You show up, you plug in, you call it a day. It's great. But I mean, when they're going to limit your decibels and how loud you are and all that kind of stuff, I feel like that's always going to be an issue with a DJ, correct?
Yes. I mean, yeah. The problem is this. We had a pod recently where we talked about the decibels that you just said, and it is what it is. But using a house system versus using your own system with a decibel is almost even worse, in my opinion.
Right, where you have to watch the decibels on your own system, you're saying, correct?
Well, when you watch the decibels on your own system, it's annoying. The staff will probably come up multiple times and tell you to turn it down, and you got to stay at a certain level. So it is what it is. But having to use a house system, it simply comes down to one thing for starters. How does it sound? Because what happens when there's a wedding on a Friday night and the DJ overdid it and maybe blew a speaker and it sounds like shit, and now you come there on Saturday and you're working and you're using their speakers that now sound like shit, and it's a reflection of
100%.
our group. So that's for starters why I hate it. B, our team always has top of the line
Equipment.
equipment.
You want to make sure you're using that.
Right. Like my guy spent thousands of dollars for these speakers. They want to use their speakers.
Right.
So in every aspect, the music, the microphones, like
Yeah.
the crisp of doing speeches. So, and again, I know in your notes that, you know, you can give a shout out for this, but like if the venue has a really good sound system, and
I know one I'm thinking of right offhand.
I know you're talking about Icona.
100%.
Right. So Icona and Avalon, right? Yeah. So you know, they have a sound tech too.
Have a sound,
I've never personally worked there,
100%.
so I knew that's what you're going to bring up.
I was waiting, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have an actual sound tech. So the way their system works is they have the house system put in by a company. That company signed a contract with them for however many years they
Right.
have it in there. And what that guy did, what that means is
Every time they have a wedding, there's
every time there's a wedding, I guess there's a certain whatever for the venue
But
that
see-
goes into that guy coming out. And he works with us the entire time. He's out on the floor. He's listening. He's making sure that things sound good. It's not too loud. It's not too low. The highs and lows. He rang out the room.
There's two things that I have
I'm
to
just
stop
saying,
you
that's
about.
pretty cool.
That's amazing. Shout out to Icona in Jersey, down the shore in Avalon. But the question I have is, why can't everyone be like that? Because here's the thing.
Right.
If I can think of 10 places that have a house system, I don't know any of them off the top of my head except Icona has a sound guy. But let's take it a step further. Most of these venues, their maitre d' is in charge of telling, hey, DJ, this is where you set up. This is what you can do. This is your limits. And they know nothing about sound, equipment, or anything that goes on. They just know to flip the switch. And listen, I don't mean to disrespect anyone that's at the venue, but they're not sound techs.
No.
And they're not supposed to know this stuff. So there's so many times when there's situations where, you know, the sound is off, they don't know how to fix it. So knowing what you said about that story is amazing. And I feel like there'd be a lot less DJs in the business that would be so, I don't know if uptight's the word I want to use, about going to a venue.
Right.
Because I know there's venues.
Apprehensive, I think is the word you're
Yeah, sure.
for.
I know there's venues in Bucks, Montgomery County that won't go to these places just because they have to use their house system, and
It's tough.
they'd rather not take the gig. And it's crazy when you think of it that way, that there's people out there that wouldn't take gigs because of it. So just kind of wild.
It makes sense though. It's an instrument in a way. Like even though the speakers aren't technically the instrument, like, but you know, you're a musician.
It's a craft.
Right. You're an artist. However you want to look at it. Like you want to use the things that you're used to using. It's also going to help you sound the way you expect to sound, you know?
Can I throw you on the spot? And when I say I'm talking about random things over the years, what's something fun or cool that you got that's happened? I have something I want to talk about that I just came up on my memories on my Facebook that I was like, oh, let's talk about this on the pod. So while I'm telling the story, I was just like, do you got anything?
I got something that I've seen in a wedding that I think is cool that happened, or what do you mean? Yeah.
So I'll go first. So something popped up on my memories that I thought was kind of cool that I wanted to bring up. And again, this is always like outside the box, doing something different. I'm doing this 20 years now. I love seeing things I've never saw. So here's the story, and it's not even my story. I wasn't even at this wedding. I just posted about it on my Facebook, and it was on my memories this morning, and I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. So a couple years ago, we do a wedding for this couple, and I wish I remembered the backstory, but the maid of honor did something amazing, over the top, outlandish, wild, that when I think her sister or her best friend, I think it was her sister, when she got married and she was the now maid of honor, she was like, what am I going to do to go over the top to beat her? I don't know if it was like a competitive thing or she just loved her girl that much that she wanted to do something as comparable as she thought she did for her wedding. So we get an email and she's like, hey, like, can we incorporate this? And we do this whole thing. And she tells me the story and I'm like, no way. So You'll definitely have to post the video of
I wasn't sure where you were going, but now I do know.
So the maid of honor starts doing her speech, and she mentions that the other girl, the bride, did such a killer job at her speech, and that she wanted to, do her up or compare whatever.
Right.
So she starts talking in her speech, and she said, and who better to tell us about love than an old friend.
Yeah, she said, I know exactly. She lays it out something along the lines of, I wanted to go above and beyond for my speech, so I thought I would help, enlist the help of an old friend.
Yeah,
exactly how she puts
and the
it.
backstory is that the bride was obsessed with Boy Meets World, the TV show growing up, and hopefully every person listening to this show knows who Mr. Feeney is from Boy Meets World, but boom, next thing you know, on a TV is Mr. Feeney himself, who's like 95 years old at this point. And he's like, hello, Miranda. I remember her name, and couldn't tell you anything about the bride. I just remember the video.
Miranda?
I think so. Yeah. Almost positive. And he's like, I heard you're marrying so-and-so. And he's like, I just want to give you some advice.
I videoed this wedding.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know it was you. Oh, that's awesome.
So I was the video person on this wedding. Okay. And what I did was,
I had no idea you did this wedding.
It's funny because you're saying it. I edited it so that the video was playing in the video.
Right.
And you saw their reactions. And if you take the whole clip, you can watch it. And the groom's like, you see the whole, because the way I cut it in was I had the little thing come up. It was pretty cool. I like,
again, it's one of them things where it was like, how many things have we seen over the years? And that was like, wow, that's something so cool. I've never seen it, never thought about it before.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of cameos.
Yeah.
Like when we did the Bachelorette thing for a little bit, like we did one for The Office, and I thought that was super cool.
Yeah. The cameos are definitely cool. You're talking about what was her name from The Office? The one.
I don't watch the show, and everyone's always like, "What? Hold on, I'll get it." I got it.
Who?
Flannery.
I remember.
Kate
Flannery.
Kate Flannery.
I remember because I had to kind of re-edit it for something happened. Remember you gave it to me?
Oh yeah.
Something needed to happen where it was like.
I said she said they're going to Nashville.
Yeah.
Because someone told me they're going to Nashville, and then they weren't, and she said Nashville.
We had to
so I
cut
cut
Nashville out. Yeah. That's right. I remember. I was like, I remember having that for some reason.
Yeah. So what's your story? You said you got one.
Oh, I mean, so this is something that I saw at a wedding. Again, we did a lot of weddings, wedding season. One of the ones I did, this is something I absolutely loved. I have a clip of this, and I've done nothing with it, so I think, maybe we'll.
Perfect timing.
Perfect. Father-daughter dance. They come out, they're doing their whole thing. They're dancing to Dancing Queen.
Okay.
About maybe a minute into it, they have a flash mob come out, and everybody just rushes the dance floor.
Do you know about this?
I knew it was going to happen.
Okay.
But
it would have been cooler if you didn't.
So I was the MC. If I was video, I would definitely want to know something like that was going to That's something you got to know. Yeah. I wasn't videoing, but I knew that there was something going to happen because when we were coordinating it, it was me and Jim, he had to know that this was happening. Because if he didn't know it was going to happen, how would he play
right? Right, I get it.
A father-daughter dance.
Does it go just opening the dance floor from there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's out on the dance floor. But I mean, it worked really good. And you have everyone, and he's pointing at her. He's like, you're the dad. And he's pointing at her. And it was just such a very cute moment. As a father with daughters, I would love to do something.
Brooke, I can't wait, Brooke.
I don't know if
Brooke can't wait.
Do that. Brooke's a little bit too serious. Right. She doesn't, you can't.
Has Brooke ever listened to this?
No, but
all
I'll
right,
tell
perfect.
you what.
Get rid of the Dexter boyfriend. He's got to go.
Want to just cut it?
No, I said get rid of the Dexter boyfriend. He's got to go.
So here's that's Doris's boyfriend.
Oh, okay. All right, well.
Here's a fun little quick story about Brooke, though. We've called her the warden behind her back for years. She just found out over holidays just now.
You've never said it to her face?
I thought we did, but apparently we didn't. She's like, wait a minute, you guys really call me the warden?
That's awesome.
So she just found out that she's the warden.
I just thought of something so important. Oh, you just made me think of something that
I amused you. That's what they say that.
So here's a great tip. If you were doing something fun, special for your father-daughter or your mother-son dance, and your spouse is not if you will. For example, the father and daughter are going to do something fun extra. Obviously, it goes first dance, generally always father daughter, and then mother son. I'm a big believer that if you're doing some spoof with dad, have the mother son dance go first. People might be like, that's different or weird or strange, but there's a reason behind it, because you want that high energy people, whether they're joining, whether they're clapping because they're doing something fun.
100.
Because when you do that first for the father daughter, then mom and the son have to go follow that.
Yeah.
And it's such a
That's exactly what they did. They switched it.
And that's why I asked the question. I'm going to just give you the credit that you gave them that idea to do it that way. Because
I made them. I said, I think we should. To be honest with you, there's a lot of times when I do switch. Like, when you're going over the timeline, you let them, like, if you have this idea, this is how we should do it.
It's a big topic that, again, 1 in 10, maybe 1 in 15 do something where they're going to do something fun with dad. And like, it winds up being super high energy. Everybody's clapping, yay, hooray. And then it's like, okay, let's bring mom and son up now for this intimate moment now that everybody's like energy's through the roof.
Right.
So I think it's a great suggestion that you just made me think to bring up.
Well, I don't want to completely be biased here, but that's what a good thing between the DJ and MC symbiotic relationship that we have here, where you always get one of, you get both of them.
Yeah.
It makes it easier because I'm not trying to knock any just DJs. I know there's DJs out there that will knock it out of the park, but when you have an MC that can just go take care of the timeline and not worry about that and just have the DJ
in case shit happens,
it makes
everything.
Yeah.
Peace of mind. That's what it is.
Not to mention the DJ's got a lot of preparation, making sure that he's got songs right. That's where MC comes along, just make sure that the stuff goes smoothly.
Before we end this, I think I want to try to start doing segments where we have a top 5. And we talked about it before. We did a top 10 of my songs and your songs, if you will. But
did we ever post that?
We did.
Okay.
We because we both pulled our sheet out at the same time. But again, we're going to call this episode When Harry Realizes He Says Again way too many times.
And again, we should just have a little thing, like a quarter. Do you really want to?
Oh my God, a quarter? That's awesome.
And then we put the search lunch. No, I'm saying you put a quarter in every time, and then we take that money and spend it on some stuff.
Top 5 questions you should ask your DJ. I think it's a good one.
Okay.
So for starters, I think this is super important. And the question is, have you been to the venue? Have you played there before? Now, let me be very clear. You do not have to have played at the venue before to go there, etc. A true professional is completely prepared for anything and has the capabilities of setup, extensions, whatever needed for that thing.
Right.
But is it 100 times easier? And again, peace of mind is everything. Knowing that your vendor has been at this, specifically your DJ has been to the venue, has played a wedding there before, whether it's knowing where to set up, knowing the staff, knowing that this place does a 3-song dance set after formalities before they sit everybody down.
Right.
And little things like that make a big difference. Number 2, what's their personal music interest? Can we be eclectic? Yes. Does it help when your DJ loves the same music that you do? It's important.
Right.
So it's a good question. 3, are they predominantly a wedding DJ? I think that's an important question. There's so many people out there, especially on social media today, that say they're wedding DJs, but they're predominantly bar or club DJs. And I'm not saying that a bar or club DJ can't do a wedding,
right,
but it is a different world and there's different expectations. So I think it's an important question. Next is credibility. Backup plans. Do they work for a company? So if so, then maybe they have another backup plan. There's some awesome independent DJs I know that have reliable plans in case, but there's definitely a lot of independent DJs out there that probably don't have that backup plan if something were to happen. So I think that's an important question. And lastly, my 5, vibe check. Everything about your weddings and everything you book about vendors should have vibes written all over it. You want to feel the connection. You want to feel that comfortness of booking your DJ photo and video, if you will. But I think this all screams peace of mind, morning of your wedding, and that vibe you get with your DJ, I think is massive. You know, going back to the expo that we did a couple weeks ago at the convention center
last weekend,
when it feels like it was like weeks ago already. It was last weekend. I can't tell you how many people, again, hey, what do you got booked so far? Just a DJ. Okay, we offer 18 services. I'd still love to talk to you. Just curious, who's your DJ? When they don't know the answer, I'm baffled, because humble brag, even be cocky, I feel like if you booked within the mix, you're never not knowing your name in the mix, let alone maybe who your DJ actually is, because we have that connection. We're talking, we're emailing, we're texting, like we're involved, we're friends on social media. Like, how do you not know who your DJ is? And it's like baffling to me. So that's my 5 tips for what to ask a DJ. And I think on our next pod, we're going to do photo, and our next we'll do video. Try to get it in there a little bit. Well, for the last time, Happy New Year, Keith, and excited for 2026. See you next time at Studio 33. We're out, my guy.
Later.